Welcome to a new Magengo Designs show and tell video. In today's video, we will show and tell about behind the door interactive die cut set along with friendship sentiments stamp set. I can't tell you enough how excited I am about this die cut set. Not just because it's one of our first die cut sets, but because it's our first interactive die cut set. Now let me show you how it works. When you pull the tab, the door will open in the opposite direction to show what's hidden underneath. You can hide a sentiment, and our friendship sentiment stamp set is perfect for that, or you can hide a small scene underneath. Now let's check together what we have in this die cut set. First we have the tab, and it has the embossing line here. Next we have the double stitched window. We have also this small decoration piece where we put it at the end of the tab to tell the card recipient where to pull. And it has also an embossing line in the middle. And we have also this piece to cut the slot. I will show you how we can use it. What we need to create our card. We need a card base. We need the first layer, and I used one of the bigger in-out stitch rectangle dies. We need another panel, and this will be the background of our card. I cut it from the smaller in-out stitch rectangle die cut. You can also cut both of them in the same size. Now you need to decide where you want to place your window. You can place it on the top of the card, in the middle, at the bottom. Just be sure when you put it on the top of your card to leave 2 centimeters for the tab later. After finding the right place for you, I recommend here to use a washi tape to place the window in its place and prevent any movement during the cutting in the die cutting machine. And now we have our window ready. Look at this double stitched outside and inside the window. Okay, now we need to cut the slot for the tab. First, I will place the smaller panel above of the larger panel and bring the slot die, place it as near as I can to the upper edge of the window, and using the washi tape to prevent any movement, then put the smaller panel on the side and run the slot with the bigger panel in my die cutting machine to cut it. Now we have the slot on the bigger panel ready, and look how was the edge of the opening a perfect guide for us to place the slot on its place. Off the camera, I cut the tab, and I recommend here to use a heavyweight cardstock so the tab will not bend during the opening and closing and when we play with our card. The die create an embossing line here, but I always like to increase the embossing using a bone folder. Now we will take the bigger panel which has the slot, and we will tuck the tab from the back side just like this. Now I'm trying to lining up everything correctly using my grid. Okay, here's come the most important part. Please be sure to push the tab until you don't see the diagonal edges of the tab, or until you just see the straight lines of the upper part of the tab with a little bit of the spacing beside it. It's very helpful here to use the washi tape to place the tab in its place and prevent any movement. Now I will turn the panel with the tab to the back side, and I like to use here the powder tool to prevent any sticking for the tab and make the tab's movement easier. We need here definitely to use the foam tape and be sure to leave 2 centimeters away from the top of the tab, and I will do exactly the same for the other side of the tab. Be sure that you don't apply any foam tape, any kind of adhesive on this place, because this will prevent the tab movement. We just need to add another strip here and on the other side also of the panel. Now I am adding more powder before peeling off the release paper of the foam tape, just to make sure that there is nothing will prevent the tab's movement. And we are almost done. Now we will attach the bigger panel with the tab above of the card base. I am peeling the washi tape off. We don't need it anymore. We have our tab in its place. And then I will attach the small panel with the window using double-sided adhesive. Now it's time to attach our window, or actually our door, because the die's name is behind the door, and I am using for that double-sided adhesive. Peel off the adhesive's release paper and attach the door just like a puzzle. Now I will attach this decoration piece to the end of the tab, and the die will create this embossing line in the middle, and will use double-sided adhesive to attach it. You can cut a little bit of the tab to make it shorter and then attach this decoration piece. I just cut the die again from a black cardstock just to use the arrow inside the first one. Here I am doing the stamping, and I am using one of the sentiments from the Friendship Sentiments stamp set. Of course, it will be much better when we do the stamping before adding the foam tape to the panel and attach them to the card base. This is just an example card to show you how we will use the die cut, but of course we will create another cute card using this die cut during this video. Now let's check what we have in the Friendship Sentiments stamp set. The first sentiment is, "You are always such a beautiful, kind-hearted person. I'm so lucky to have you in my life." The second sentiment is, "Thank you so much for always letting me know you are there if I need you." And the third one is, you are one of those people who make my life better just by being in it. All these three sentiments are designed to fit perfectly inside the door opening that we have in the behind the door interactive die cutting set. The other sentiment that we have in this stamp set is just a little card for you to say. Then we can stamp the three dots or the three hearts or the arrow, then completing our message by stamping one of the three big sentiments in this stamp set. To start creating my card, I cut the background panel by using the bigger rectangle from the in-out stitched rectangles dies cutting set. Now I am using Salty Ocean, Gyp Sapphire, Black Soot, Distress Oxide ink to ink the background and create a night sky. And of course, our night sky needs some stars, so I am splattering the background with white watercolor by using a small paintbrush. Now I am cutting the grass panel by using one of the three dies from our grass border die cutting set. And to get the same stitching line on the grass panel, I am using the same die that I used to cut the background panel here to cut also the grass panel. Here I'm just adding some shadows on the grass by inking it with Black Soot Distress Oxide ink. Now we will repeat exactly the same steps that we did at the beginning of our video. I started by placing the door die and cutting it with my die cutting machine. Here I have another panel in the same size, cut it also by using the bigger frame from the in-out stitch rectangles dies cutting set. By using my stamping tool, I am placing the panels together in the stamping tool to get the right position for the sentiment, and I am stamping one of the three big sentiments from the Friendship Sentiment stamp set that's designed to sit perfectly in the opening. I'm also stamping here the three hairs, also from the same set, using Barn Door Distress Oxide ink. Now let's cut the slot for the tab. Of the camera, I cut the tab from a heavyweight black cardstock and I am inserting it here in the slot that we cut. Be sure to position the tab correctly and straight and push it to the top until you don't see the diagonal lines on the top of the tab. Be sure to place your foam tape not too near, not too far from the tab, and don't forget the 2 centimeters from the top of the tab. Here I'm using the powder tool to make sure that there is no any adhesive will may prevent the tab's movement. By using the double-sided adhesive, I am attaching here the background with the door opening on the card. Time to attach the door. I'm also using the double-sided adhesive and also the decoration piece on the tab. Now let's add the extra decoration piece to the tab to tell the card recipients that they should pull the tab to see the hidden sentiment behind the door. let's complete our card by attaching the grass panel and a few stamps from our new stamp set, It's Your Day. I combined the sentiment, just a little card for you to say, with the arrow and embossed them on a black cardstock using Versamark ink and white embossing powder. Then I am attaching the sentiment on the card by using a few foam squares. And this is our card for today, featuring behind the door interactive die cutting set along with friendship sentiments. I hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful crafting day. Bye!